My name is George Constantinou. I'm a technical manager at the Serious Games Institute based in Coventry. My job involves supporting West Midlands-based companies in developing mobile apps and serious games. An app is a downloadable software application. That's where the name comes from. An app can be a purely marketing tool, or it can serve a purpose, or can be a utility sometimes we call them. The most important point that I try to cover with companies when they're thinking about developing an app is that question, do you really need an app? But an interesting point is Apple have now begun to reject pure marketing apps for iTunes, believe it or not, because they feel that it's not really using the platform to its fullest. If an app was going to be used as a marketing tool, then you do need to consider whether or not some kind of web-based solution could be more appropriate. And even going back a stage from that, whether or not optimizing an existing website could be a solution. The primary reason someone would want to develop a mobile app is to support a particular process or function that needs to be carried out remotely or away from an office environment, for example. A health and safety assessment for buildings, for example. When I'm visiting different buildings, I have the tool that allows me to capture images, input text, maybe capture some other multimedia, maybe some sound, or even some video, all from one device, and be able to package up that information and email it or send it via any other means where it needs to go. So that would be an ideal scenario to develop a mobile application. When a company has decided that it would like to develop a mobile app, there are two routes that it can take. The first route would require some specialist programming expertise. This would be to develop a native app which is bespoke for that particular platform. The other route would be to use authoring tools, which are tools available that use preset templates or frameworks in order to very quickly put an app together. The benefit of using the authoring tools are that it would very quickly deliver a mobile application of use. However, the fact that it employs standard frameworks and templates mean that the look and feel will be very standard and the functionality will be very inflexible. Well, the development process for a mobile application could take from a week to 6 months. It really depends on what you want to achieve, which platforms you want to deliver on, and what kind of look and feel the app requires. A typical process in our organisation would be around about 12 weeks. A client would come to us with a concept. We would then spend the first 2 weeks storyboarding and planning that particular concept. Once we're happy that this is achieving the right result, then a functional specification would be generated, which would be handed over to the programming team. They would then spend time programming the software that would allow the app to function on a particular device. Towards the end of that section of work, we would put the app out for testing. We would then evaluate it for usability and performance. Once we're happy, we would then submit to the appropriate store. In the case of Android, this is now Google Play, and in the case of Apple, this is iTunes. Once approval has arrived from the store, then the app would be made available for sale. A very simple app could take as little as 2 weeks to develop and cost as little as £3,000. Something far more advanced could take up to 40 or 50 days and cost in excess of £30,000. We recommend developing on Apple and Android platforms at present, as they represent approximately 95% of the mobile application market. Should a company wish to develop on Windows Mobile and BlackBerry, this will add approximately 2/3 to the cost of any existing development process. If a company would like to develop an app for both a smartphone and a tablet device, it is a very similar development process. So the framework or the mechanism behind the app would be the same. It's the aesthetic or the front view that would be different for each of the two devices. Obviously they're a completely different shape and size, so you do have to create different graphical assets for the tablet as opposed to the smartphone. So it's not double the cost, but I would certainly allow about another third of the cost on top if you want to develop both a tablet and a smartphone application. I think mobile applications are like any other commodity. They really need to be promoted through the right channels. Social media is a good channel to use, but I think it's a combined approach that's really going to make your app rise to the top. Creating a buzz through a wacky YouTube video could be a good solution. In some cases these videos are completely unrelated to the app and its content, but it's enough to create a buzz to get people talking and to get your app moving.